Hey do, Mary do, ring a dong dillo. Crack a cold lager and rest upon a pillow. I'm your host, the master. Adam is my name. And the nerds of the old republic are back in the game. Gather round, friends, with a start or a porter. Admittedly, my rhymes are weaker than a glass of water. That was a stretch. I apologize. But we've finished the fellowship, a tale of great weight, where 4 little hobbits met a world-shaking fate. There's like 30 more lines. From the peace of the Shire to the prancing pony's foam, they fled from the shadows and far from their home. Through the snow of Caradas, sorry. Oh, I'm already lost my nerd cred right there.
You're corrected course, you're good.
Okay. And Moria's deep
roll
blue.
Your R, though, when you say
Oh, I can't roll my R's. That's why I never took Spanish. Caradas. Where Gandalf the Grey met a bridge and his doom. Oh, pour one out for Gandalf. For a moment. 9 companions set out in the out to the fire in the east, escaping the Uruk and the ring-wraith stark beast. Broken in Parth Garleen, the fellowship fell to save all of Middle-earth from a dark golden spell. I never knew I put gold in there, or why AI put gold in there.
What?
I mean, I wrote this.
Yeah.
Is my meter a mess? Are my verses a crime? I had 3 imperial stouts. Blame the drink for my rhyme. But Adam doesn't care for the right or the wrong, so let's pull up a fresh tap and start up the song. Play the intro!
That is epic.
Great. Sean, you give him the bell because you love that shit.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Dude, it's
I appreciate
Adam
it.
Bombadil.
That, yes, yeah, I've got a lot to say about my friend Tommy, but I'm Adam.
I'm Mike.
We're going second now.
I am Sean!
I can't see you, it's so blinding. And if you can't tell what we're talking about, welcome to 2026. 100 years ago, this book series called The Lord of the Rings was written. And we're about to blow your Okay, the 100 years is not right, I'm estimating.
80. Yeah, close enough.
All right. Blow your motherfucking mind is where I'm going. We're talking the Fellowship of the Ring, people. That's what we're talking about today. And
So fucking ready.
I know this has been a cast that maybe has edgelorded us for 5 years now.
I'm finally gonna come, bitch.
I honestly had to hold Sean off for like seasons.
We're just hemorrhaging listeners.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Please edit this out in post, Sean. Really.
No way, this is gold.
Keep it, motherfucker! So, yeah, no, we're here to talk about all things hobbits and dwarves and elves and all of the names of elves that I don't remember except for Elrond. That's really where we're at. If you've never listened, we always pair it with some lovely food and some lovely drink. And for food, Mike has been kind enough to bring some fantastic cheeses and some cold meats as they had in the Prancing Pony. And I was in charge of the drink, so gentlemen, I have one of my favorite breweries. This is Unibroue. I mean, that's the name of the brewery. But
I can play on Unibroue?
I'm not sure. Brasserie Brewery Unibroue of Chambly, Quebec. So it's not too far from us. This was one of the first craft beers I remember having as a drinker at the ripe age of 20. And it's called Le Fin Du Monde, The End of the World. Mm-hmm. And I thought it would be perfect because the tale is nothing less than the end of the world, possibly, if the ring falls into the wrong hands. And Frodo and the Fellowship have to travel essentially to the end of their world in order to finish their task, which we're not going to talk about today because that'd be a 6-hour cast, easily. But you can't see it. Mike has taken a picture of it, and if you don't follow us on BlueSky, we are at Nerds of Old Republic, as we are on all things. But I'm going to do the lovely pop in a sec, because it's a champagner. And if we finish this one, I have a second one.
Oh,
man.
Shit.
You should
Not
have bought
of this
3
one.
of them, and we just all could have had one.
Damn it, I should
That would have been
have.
a whole different kind of evening.
You know what? Yeah, I was going to say, you guys would be
Edward
sleeping
40.
over. Because this is 9% alcohol.
Damn.
Right.
The next one is more.
Oh.
So this is a Belgian triple. And besides the name, it's only 19 IBU. So it's a standard Belgian triple. And it is of a brew besides the strength. They wouldn't have brewed it that strong back then because you just drank beer in place of water because water was untrustworthy. But it is a brew that goes back to as early as we have beer recipes. So I thought it was appropriate for that.
Very
Can I ask a
cool.
question?
Yes.
Does it come in pints?
Guess what this is?
I'm getting one.
It's a pint.
Yeah. This is also the 25th anniversary of the release of Fellowship of the Ring. And,
Yes.
Yes.
From New Line Cinemas there, and
Which originally sparked the conversation for us to read it.
indeed.
So, yeah.
Well, I think we're close to that. It was last year, technically, right? Was it 20, or is it
2025 or
was it
26?
It came out. This is the 25th. Yeah, it came out in 2001.
Let's go.
They have it in theaters, and I took the family to see it. My kids were thrilled. My wife was even more thrilled. And they're showing the extended edition, so it's already a long evening.
So it's 4 hours.
But there's about a 15 or 18 minute introduction of Peter Jackson sitting in an easy chair just rambling. It's really interesting, but there's no structure to it. It's literally Peter Jackson just talking off the top of his head to the camera.
I thought you were going to say intermission.
No, there's no intermission. No.
Oh, that's a long night
It
in
was a
the
very
chair.
long evening. And here's the best part: the theater did not have like those nice leather reclining seats. It was a traditional movie theater.
God.
So
It was AMC,
It was
wasn't it?
it was both a wonderful and very long evening.
I saw these movies in the theater, in a standard theater when they first came out. There were none of those reclining ones. And my fiance at the time, now my lovely wife, well, girlfriend, fiance, then wife, well, the series came out. And I remember her being a good sport about it. And she went with a friend of mine and I who were huge ring wraiths. And I remember even myself being enthralled the whole time, still having to like walk around for about 20 minutes to get the feeling back in my ass. Because those were some long ass movies.
And that was not the extended edition.
No,
That was
That's
the
right.
theatrical release. Yeah.
I haven't looked up the stats on the extended or the director's cut, but it is over 3 hours, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
got to be.
The Fellowship is the shortest of the three, and the extended edition is over 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
I believe that the last one, the Return of the King, is around 4 hours.
Wow.
It's quite a watch.
Not to get too far off before we get the beer, but it's also astounding to me that was all filmed in one go.
Yes.
All
What?
3 movies, one film session.
Right.
That had to be like 6 years of their lives.
Several years, I think,
It was,
to do it.
and
yeah.
I don't.
sure.
You know, I know we're trying to get to the beer here, so I'll just
okay.
put in a quick plug for
I'm just waiting for the pop noise.
the extended edition trilogy. When I bought it on Blu-ray, came with all these additional bonus behind the scenes making of documentaries. So they had the models for the castles was one documentary, and the actors and casting was another one, and the music was one. Anyways, that shit was fascinating. Watching them make this trilogy was incredible. It was really cool. Peter Jackson narrates and explains a lot of it.
Yeah.
Definitely worth a watch if you're a true hardcore Lord of the Rings nerd.
All right, let's open this up then, Rennie. Let's see if I can do it in one pull.
Oh, the vapor.
And the vapor comes off the top.
I wish the audience could hear that vapor.
I absolutely love this brewery. Very fond memories of having them when Belgian triple. I was like, oh, I can have that, and then you finish it, and you're like, oh my god, I'm really drunk right now.
That is a proper pour. That looks like a commercial beer right there.
Yeah.
This is
Gorgeous color.
right.
The amber.
That's why I picked it. I mean, you can't fuck with the triple. If you don't get it right, you don't get it right. Everybody knows right away. And having it in a champagner is nice because, for 3 of us, one drink is fine. But I do have a backup that is also thematically on point. from the same brewery, nonetheless. So, if we want another, we have another. Being the second cast of the night, I don't know how we're feeling. Plus, I know you guys have to drive home, so.
Did you already do the tasting notes on that, or?
I did not. Do you want me to do this? If there are tasting notes?
I think Mike should do them on this.
Oh, we're going to really throw it around. There you go. There are tasting notes. There's a paragraph there for him.
Thanks, sir.
There you go.
All right. I'm getting like a glare on these silver words here.
Mithril.
What's that?
Mithril words.
That is a kingly gift. All right. This rich and sophisticated golden triple has earned several international titles thanks to its refined taste, marked by notes of grains, fruit, and spice, supported by a slight bitterness. It is a tribute to Quebec, the land encountered by 16th century French explorers who thought they'd reached the end of the world. It got very historical and educational there.
It did, yeah.
Also, Quebec is noted as an inspiration for Mordor to... no, I'm just fucking...
Oh, damn it. I was like, hey, I did a thing that I didn't know I did.
No, I love Quebec. I would never equate that with the
J'aime Quebec. All right, gents. Well, cheers. Here's to hoping we enjoy it.
Oh, that is outstanding.
Right?
Oh, my gosh.
Available at all of our local grocery stores.
Damn.
Fantastic.
That is an excellent beer.
That is so tasty.
That gets the seal of approval.
What is the beer that Sam was hoping to get when they first leave the Shire before the Prancing Pony? God, what's the name of the place? There's so many places named.
Green Dragon?
Yes, they want to go to the Green Dragon, but they don't. They've got the best ale. Well, gentlemen, hopefully this is as good as the Green Dragons.
This is very good.
Goes down quick, but careful. It's 9%.
Yes.
I must take my time with this one. It's very tasty, though.
Tis a sipper.
Yeah, tis a sipper. The next one is 8.5, so roughly the same. We can always take a break. No one's forcing anybody on anything.
I'm glad it comes in pints.
All right, so let's see if we can do this in like 2 minutes per person. Just history and like past experiences with Lord of the Rings. I think mine's the shortest in that I actually had to read The Hobbit as, I believe, a 10th grader.
Oh, wow.
Which was not enjoyable. But of course, like we know as English teachers, I think it was just me and how it was dealt with and not jiving with me and all that sort of thing. But a couple years later, I thought, well, I should keep going forward because I like fantasy. I knew I liked fantasy. And I actually bought, this isn't my copy, but I bought this copy of The Fellowship of the Ring in an airport.
Nice.
And read as much as I could on the way and then just fell out of it because I was worse as a completer then than I am now. But I watched the movies with my dad and really remember loving the hell out of all of them. Like, I don't think we had the extended versions, but I remember watching them straight and just being like, yeah, more of that, please. And I've got a lot to say about this reread because as like a 40-year-old in 2026, it just hit me differently. So I'll get to that at the end, though. That was not something I expected, but really appreciated.
Well, I'll go next because Sean is, this is Sean's shit and he's got the best story to tell, so.
He literally claimed dibs on it. He licked the microphone and said, this is mine.
Oh, it's gonna be a journey.
Oh, it's running.
He is gonna take you on a journey. You will laugh. You will
That's true. Don't cut me off. I'll just ramble.
No, for me, I didn't even know what the fuck Lord of the Rings was when the movie came out. I remember seeing the previews for it when I was a sophomore in college. And I thought, well, this looks fucking stupid. And I had no interest in it. Zero.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't a fantasy fan at all when I was younger. I was sort of a closeted nerd. I really liked Star Trek: The Next Generation. And I fucking loved Star Wars from the time I was like, old enough to understand it. But that was it. And so I never saw the movie until my junior year of college. I was on a bar league hockey team, and we stayed back during a holiday to play in a tournament. And everyone else left and went home. And so I was in a suite with 3 other guys. They were all gone, and I was looking for movies. But in those days, you couldn't stream anything. You just had to watch DVDs, right? Or video cassettes. And I was looking for, we watched all the same shit. Fight Club, Fear and Loathing, Boondock Saints, right? I was looking for something I hadn't seen. I was looking for something new because I was lonely and all by myself. And my one roommate had Lord of the Rings, and so I threw Fellowship on. The other 2 weren't even out yet, right? Fellowship had just come out. And I was like, I'll just fucking watch whatever this is. And it was just to kill a couple of hours, right? I was so fucking hooked from the very beginning. The whole battle scene in the beginning with Cate Blanchett's voiceover narration and all that. I was like, this is not what I thought it was at all. I thought it was going to be sort of like a kids, young adults movie. And I was like, oh, this shit's fucking serious. So the movie went by so quickly that I was actually startled when it ended. And I think, I don't remember for sure, I don't want to say for sure because this was 20 years ago that it was the next day, but it was very soon after then. I was like, I gotta watch that shit again. And I fucking watched it again. Loved it. I saw the next 2 in the theater when they came out. Watched those movies over and over and over again. Still didn't read the book.
Which is not like you.
Until I was probably 29 or 30. Wow. More years went by. But now you can see this is my well-worn copy. I've read Fellowship a handful of times, and I've read the other 2, probably a couple times each. Love it. I've killed everything else. The Silmarillion a couple times. The Hobbit is, and Rings of Power. I love this shit. I was ignorant till I was 20 years old, and then I became enlightened.
It's quite the story.
Yeah. Well, and now Sean? You get to top that with your heart-wrenching childhood.
I will concede all day long that Adam is the master of Dr. O speculative fiction and style stuff. And Mike is the Eldritch horror expert.
The Lovecraft weirdo.
But I will plant my fucking flag on the world of Lord of the Rings hither to none, because I have formed so much of my life around just the themes of this story and what it teaches you about being a person and how to act and things like that. It means so much to me. I'm getting really philosophical here, but I even told my wife I wanted the fucking one ring as my wedding ring. Bitches. It is.
He threw it in the fire before the cast and it lit up.
Oh. The only thing it doesn't have that I wanted was the Elvish script, and I wanted it to say "one ring to rule your heart," and she said, "That's evil, no dice." So I got
it does seem a bit controlling.
It looks like it. That's as far as I could go.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And it's just I remember I left this part out, but you mentioned it, Mike, reading The Hobbit, and that was my gateway drug, I guess. When I was probably in 3rd or whatever grade, I found The Hobbit somewhere, read it, and was like, "Oh, it was okay." And then I found a discarded 3-book edition of Lord of the Rings in my brother's closet. Someone must have given it to him on maybe this kid will read this. Not knowing my brother very well, apparently. Love you, but, he doesn't read. And,
worked out for you.
You know what? I found it, and I thought this looked cool. It had, neat-looking covers, and I'm like, why not? I was a dork. I'm a dork. I'll admit it. Mm-hmm. So I started reading the books, and like Mike at the movies, I was... Hooked isn't even giving it justice. I could not get out of that world. I couldn't get enough of it. I read the entire trilogy the summer break between 4th and 5th grade, and then every summer for the next 4 or 5 years, I would reread it ritualistically every summer. It was my goal. I'm going to get through the Lord of the Rings again. I've done it now a couple of times as an adult. Maybe every 5 or 6 years I'll go back and I've got a beautiful leather-bound edition, or I'll go and I'll reread it. My kids are into it. I got them reading it, and they love the movies. The movies came out. I saw them all. They opened in the theaters. It is just... I think Colbert might be the greatest fan of the Tolkien verse. I'm going to put myself somewhere several notches below him, but I am up there with his love of this world.
I will say be careful. Lord Colbert of the House of Rivendell, first of men, many among his name, has many more titles that we need to use appropriately before he sues us.
No, he is the unquestioned master of lore.
It's ludicrously impressive what he will just spin off the top of his head. a couple times I've watched it and then I fact checked it afterwards because I'm like, is he just bullshitting me right now?
Oh, no, he is not.
No, he's fact check. He's already saying things that are real and true and accurate.
See, I've only read the the glossaries and addendums like maybe once or twice, like the appendices and things where he gets into all the the details. Silmarillion I've read a couple times, something like that, but I think Colbert has memorized Elvish. Like he knows the language.
He might know it. Yeah. Like that scene in 40-Year-Old Virgin where they turn to each other and they speak in Elvish, realizing that they're both the same nerd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never got that far with it, but god damn, these books to me are just, I don't know. It's a whole other level, guys. It really is.
I mean, we can't overstate the impact of this world. I won't say series. The world on the real world. I have students who are named after characters from The Lord of the Rings.
No shit.
Yeah, I mean, they don't go by the name because it's a dead name for them, but
you don't have an Aragorn?
Yeah, no, unfortunately,
Eowyn.
yeah, Glorin, right? Unfortunately, they were a female with a beard, but...
What's your name? Glorfindel?
Yeah, I go by Finn, right? But, no, honestly, think about how many people have Elvish tattoos who learn Elvish on Duolingo or, like you said, your wedding band, or people who cosplay as elves. The elves you cosplay as, it doesn't matter where you think they're from The Lord of the Rings.
Right.
That is the elf that every elf is based on.
That's a great point, Adam. Everything else that has come after Tolkien's work is pale comparison. It is trying to get back into the gates of heaven and failing miserably, because no matter how good you think your high fantasy is, it will never, ever be as good as Lord of the Rings. And we've talked about this. Mike and I have had this discussion several times. It is nigh on perfect what he has done with the world building. There are flaws, but nowhere near what you see in other works of fiction or fantasy and high fantasy. It is unparalleled in its scope, its breadth, its realization of a story. Everything about it is excellent.
Agreed. Well said.
Cast over.
Yeah, there we go. 24 minutes in. I mean, so without going too far, just to kind of keep expanding on the impact, I play D&D. I'm the D&D club advisor at school. Everything that is in that game is from this, with the exception of they have to make the magic system a hard magic system that has rules, because in a game you have to have rules. But Gandalf's magic system is soft. Gandalf does what Gandalf wants to do.
Well, Gandalf's also like an angel. He's not really a magician or a sorcerer or a wizard.
He's not Gandalf the White yet.
Yeah, I get it, but even as Gandalf the Grey, he's cosplaying as a wizard. He really isn't.
It's one of the things that I love about Lord of the Rings is that it does not have a hard magic system. That's just that comes down to reader taste, obviously. But I like Star Wars and the Force. I like
because it can do what the author wants it to do.
Exactly. That's what I like. I am invested in the story, the world building, the characters, the setting, the themes. That's what I'm there for. I don't need you to explain to me all the complicated rules of the magic. And that's one of the things I really appreciate about Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Tolkien will give you pages upon pages of the history of this ruin that they passed by while they were walking.
Yep.
But he does not waste time telling you why Gandalf's staff lights up or something. You know what I mean?
Or why he says what he says.
Deep mythology about who Gandalf is and the entire universe that they all come from and all that. But it's just not a hard magic system, and I appreciate that.
That's one of the things that speaks to the writing quality is, like I said, there are flaws. There are contradictions occasionally that come up, and you can tell that Tolkien was sort of designing the airplane a bit while he was trying to fly it. But because he had spent so much time building this world and its history and all the things that went into this one part of this larger legendarium, it's forgivable so easily because it's so easily dismissed. Gandalf references all these spells that he knows. Yes, he used spells, but nobody gives a shit because it's this one throwaway line, and it's whatever, that could be explained away easily. It's one of those where the rest of the narrative, it's so malleable, where you don't need to have a hard explanation. Whereas, like in a Dungeons and Dragons, I appreciate having, you need it.
You gotta have rules in order to
But
do
in this, like, it's almost like the rules impose themselves through just like your thoughts on it. You know, like there is, he doesn't have to tell you; it's just there.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm skipping ahead a bit, but the few times that Gandalf uses magic in the book, they're being attacked by the wargs at the top right before they enter Moria, and he just says a bunch of words and like lights the fucking sky up on fire and burns all the trees. Nobody explains why that happens, and I think Sam is like, well, he burned my eyebrows. And that was that. They just all were like, yeah, Gandalf can do that shit.
Yeah. And it's not limited to Gandalf either. The elves are, Legolas walks on top of 6 feet of snow. And,
in plain shoes.
He has like a quiver of arrows that never runs out, just like little shit like that. And they don't explain those things. And the story is more powerful for that. Right. It would lose some of its enchantment if you gave rules or reasons or backstories to those things.
Yeah, he masterfully uses the idea of implication, and it's just like, oh, what's a warg? Well, it's kind of like a werewolf, but not exactly. That's not important.
It's fine,
right? And it's just like, or the nameless things, and or the Bane of Durin, and all these things that like the nerds will go on forever. Yeah. Like if you get into a thread online talking about the Balrogs and stuff like that, like you're going to be gone for a while. But the way Tolkien treats it, it's just like, it's matter of fact.
Yeah.
It is what it is. This is what it's doing in this moment, and that's it.
It gives so much texture to the world, and it gives you so much to wonder about. This was the thing that always fascinated me about Star Wars when I was a kid, is the way they'd be like, it's the ship that made the Kissel Run in 25 parsecs or whatever, and it's like, what's the Kissel Run? There's this entire backstory and mythology that's only vaguely alluded to.
Right.
And that, even though George Lucas hadn't really thought any of that shit through, they're throwaway lines. Yeah. But it created this sense in you, the viewer, of like, I want to know more about this. And I remember watching Lord of the Rings that first time when I was, a neophyte and I knew nothing about it. The Balrog's a perfect example. When he's like, what is this new devilry? And Gandalf's like, it's a demon of the ancient world. I'm like, this is so fucking cool. And then that huge ass fire thing comes out and draws a sword. And I'm like on the edge of the couch alone at night in my college dorm room. Like, that's the best shit I've ever seen. And I'm like, I want to know more about that demon and the ancient world and its backstory and where it came from, right? And it's all there eventually if you want to go deep. But it's not taking away from the narrative, right?
So that's exactly where Tolkien, I think, again, asserts his mastery. Where something like Star Wars finds never-ending ways to explain shit that doesn't need to be explained. Like, I don't need to know this stuff.
Midi-chlorians.
Right. The idea of wondering is in itself the reward, right? Questioning it, trying to fill in the blanks in your own mind. But as soon as they start demystifying it, it loses all of its allure. But Tolkien was able to, again, plop you in the middle of one of the greatest stories within a huge world that he built that already had huge stories that were just sitting on the shelf that he never published.
And that's the writing of the Lord of the Rings is fascinating in and of itself, because he writes The Hobbit as a children's story.
Right.
And then he decides, I like this world. I'm going to work on this some more, which he does for 20 plus fucking years. Right. Yeah. And then he comes back and it's like, here's the sequel to The Hobbit. And it's like this fucking all-time, it's like the fucking Iliad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like this massive piece of literature.
And he's doing all of this while being a full-time linguist professor at Oxford or whatever.
Yes.
I don't even understand how people have time. He created multiple languages. Yeah. He wrote a couple thousand pages, right? And I'm sure there was more that was not published. And he was like, "This is not up to my quality standards."
Reams of papers that he never published. And
is this what you can do when you don't have Instagram?
Oh, dude.
What the fuck?
He's also dealing with post-war he's got PTSD from
he does.
war and oh my God, the man lived a life. And was able, like you said, to basically be the god of an entire world and universe. It's just insane what he was able to accomplish. Again, I don't think there is another equivalent to it. George Martin comes close, but it's not the same.
No.
Right? His world building is excellent, but his story is nowhere near as eloquent as Lord of the Rings is.
And I would say much more cynical.
Yes.
One of the things that hit me this time that didn't hit me before, and I'm just going to glance on it and then we can get to the story, is how sincere every character is.
Yes.
And I walked away reading this book going, I fucking wish the world was like that. The people said what they meant and meant what they said, and they were a person of their word, and they did what they were going to do, and honor mattered. I don't want to go back to the 1920s or some like fictional land that never really existed, but I wish that like, oh, I'm sorry for letting you down. I forgot this thing, and we let Gollum escaped, and we're so sorry, and this is traumatic and terrible. That's okay, my friend. Nothing. Gollum will do what Gollum will do, and we will figure out what to do from there on. Fuck, I want to live in this world. So that's where I want to be.
This is getting a really deep nerd shit, but like
that's what we do.
Tolkien was himself very much inspired by the Norse mythology and the Icelandic sagas, and that is what he was trying to create for the English world. Is this like, you know, sort of feeling of mythology, because, you know, England didn't really have that, right? And
outside of the Arthurian legends, like he felt like that was not enough.
That also influenced them too.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I can see that.
All the medieval literature was a big influence on him, particularly the Norse mythology and Icelandic sagas. And you talk about the characters. That's what made me think about this. One of the things that I think is very apparent in Lord of the Rings is, you know, he's writing in that, if you've ever read any of this stuff, I read a whole bunch of Icelandic sagas because I'm a dork. And the characters, we don't get so lost in all their motivations and their thoughts, and like if they're this way as an adult, what happened to them in childhood that caused it. You don't get all that. You just get like men and women who do things. Things happen to them, and then they respond to those things. And we're left to judge their motivations and their actions by what happens as readers, right? Like we make decisions about that. When you read Lord of the Rings, like take the heroes, like take Aragorn, right? Like we never go deeply inside Aragorn's head. No. We get his thoughts a little bit in a superficial way, but mostly what we get is a character who does things. He's in a circumstance. He knows what he's trying to accomplish. He makes certain choices. He does things. And then that's how we judge that character, is based on his actions and what he accomplishes and why he did those things, without going into all the really deep psychology and all that stuff. Very refreshing, I think, because modern literature has very much veered into like character psychology. Yeah, that's not the vein that Tolkien is writing in.
I gotta piggyback on that, because you're right. Modern storytelling is all about the moral shades of gray, and even the heroes do bad things, kind of idea, all of that stuff. Whereas there's a purity in Lord of the Rings that comes from Tolkien's reverence towards the mythologies of Europe, and also his Christianity. And, you know, take it for what it is. It's complicated, but he clearly delineates good and evil. He clearly delineates, you know, people who have the moral upright, like, this is the right thing to do, and we have to do it at all costs, whether we died trying or not, kind of people like Aragorn and Frodo.
Yeah, I was going to say Frodo.
You know, like Boromir is more of like a middle character, but even he in the end comes back as like that I erred, and it was because I was tempted, right? The evil is pure evil. There is no forgiveness for it. The orcs are orcs. They're just, and I hate people who try to explain them. I hate the fucking Rings of Power for trying to make me sympathetic towards orcs. That's not the point. Yeah. They are a force of destruction. That is it. Don't try to overthink it. Don't try to make them something they're not. They are designed to meet the ends of the Dark Lord. It is good versus evil, right? It is simplistic, and it, again, like I said before, it forms so much like I think a good worldview, in that you can achieve incredible things if you're true to yourself, if you work with people who, you know, are also true to themselves, and you work for the right reasons and the right causes. Like that. I'm butchering it here, but
no, I get what you're saying, because like I'm sitting there thinking, when I first came into the series, and I'm reading and I'm listening. I did both because I'm a very slow reader, so I had to do both to make sure that I finished. And I'm sitting there going, holy shit, there's a lot of talk.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fucking talk. Like, they're in the halls of Rivendell talking for a whole book. But then I'm like, wait, this is actually modeling like right communication and decent decision making in a committee.
Yeah.
I wish people sat together and made actual decisions in a logical way like these people do.
Right.
I know we're not elves, but still.
But for all of the doom that this book proclaims, that, like, that they're facing, like you said, the end of the world, there's that positivity, that ray of hope that never, ever is completely snuffed out until ultimate triumph at the end. And it's just, I love the fact that it's got a positive message. Like again, I'll compare it to George Martin's work, where it's cynical and it makes you hate humanity. It makes you hate being alive sometimes, and just like the depravity of humanity. Tolkien celebrates it, and he celebrates what we are capable of when we are at our best.
Yeah,
Figures like Aragorn and Sam, the real hero of the story.
That's
Frodo,
right.
Pippin,
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Tom Bombadil is the goddamn hero.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Bombadil. They represent what we can do when we put everything else first besides ourselves.
My favorite line from the movie, I'm sure this line is in the book too, but is when they're in Moria and Gandalf says to Frodo, after Frodo's like, I wish the ring had never come to me. And Gandalf says, well, so do all who live to see such times, but that's not for us to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that's given us. Such a beautiful fucking line, right? And it's something like, if you've ever read like The Myth of Sisyphus by Camus, right? And the idea is like, this dude is just pushing a rock up a hill, and he's always going to fail. The rock's always going to come back down.
He knows it's coming down.
But he can find meaning in his task, right? Like, it's not...
And in the choosing to do the task.
And choose... Right, exactly. He can define victory on his own terms. This is what I'm faced with. I'll choose what to do with it, right? I think that right there, to me, is like my favorite message maybe from the entire trilogy. That line is relevant to everybody's lives. You can't control a lot. All you can do is control how you deal with it.
And the really great part, and kind of get back to the quote unquote script, but the way the structure of the narrative kind of mirrors these themes, where it starts in the Shire, which is the analog of England, in this little small rural community. You've got these little people who are essentially like a pastiche of rural England or Ireland, and they they leave their small sheltered world because of extenuating circumstances beyond their control. They go out into the big bad world, and they have to face immediately like existential horror, like they've never known, with the Dark Riders, the Ring Wraiths, essentially.
Yeah.
They
don't even know that yet.
Exactly. They didn't know what that, like, and I love how he continually raises the stakes as it goes on. Now, we've, on the side, because you mentioned him a minute ago, I'm going to go there now, Tom Bombadil. We've noticed, like, okay, we've argued this, and I'll make this point real quick. There had to be a bridge between the hobbits leaving the Shire before they could reach Rivendell, which would be like the last homely house. It's like, it's their, stepping stones on their journey as they make their way to Moria, and then, to Ithilien, and then over to the Mount Doom and everything. It's necessary that Tolkien continually steps up the stakes. And I think when they get taken in by Old Man Willow on the side there, is like their naivete leads them into this trap that they never saw coming. And there's a Deus Ex Machina in Tom Bombadil, but...
Go ahead. I'm not interrupting you. I'm just shrugging.
No,
right
but
now.
I get it. He reflects the nature of the world where, people fuck up. They make mistakes, but they get another chance. Like, sometimes there's the idea that the world is going to let them learn from that mistake. Tom Bombadil teaches them that the world is a much more dangerous place than they ever thought it was going to be. And, like, his not being affected by the ring and everything, there's a lot of silliness to it. And it's kind of goofy and incongruous with the rest of it. And then he shows up again when they go to the Barrow Wraiths and like, they have to fight these, like, ghost creatures and all this kind of stuff. But, again, it's that, like, Tolkien saying, like, it's okay. You're learning, right? You're going to have a little bit of help along the way. Then they get Aragorn, who kind of is now the new Tom Bombadil in their lives, who now guides them and leads them as Strider at that point.
Yeah. His rhymes are not as good as Strider.
Nearly as good.
Come on,
and Goldberry and everything else, but
Goldberry is waiting.
Right, but then the climax is at Weathertop, where you have Frodo gets stabbed, and you're like, fuck!
Yeah.
The protagonist just got stabbed by like a straight up motherfucking like Ultra Boss.
Yeah. Breaks a sword in his shoulder.
Yes, and it's like, holy shit! Like the stakes all of a sudden just go like berserk. But that's the best part of the narrative is he leads us on this like increasing like oh shit, and it's like fuck. But then he's got to like he's got to tame it down or tone it down a notch. Like the stakes get high, he lowers it. Stakes get high, lowers it. Like any kind of really good author that knows their stuff, you can't continually twist your audience into knots. You got to give them breaks. Rivendell is a break after that moment, and then there's Moria. And then Lothlorien is a break from Moria. And then there's the Boromir showdown and everything that happens there. And then the book is over. But he leads you on that roller coaster along the way. I feel like I'm monopolizing the conversation. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
The structure, I feel like, really does match what he's trying to do thematically. Like, oh, you're a fish out of water now. Well, you're going to have to learn real quick. Because if you don't learn, you're not going to make it.
I don't disagree with most of what you said.
There has to be some disagreement, otherwise this is not a podcast.
I gotta crack my knuckles here. All right, let's get ready.
I think that you articulated my objection to the character when you said a lot of it's really silly. Like, I think that's it. It's that is the classic hero's journey structure.
I was going to mention that.
There's always, like you said, there's always the houses of shelter followed by being thrust back out into peril. And you mentioned a couple of the other ones. The difference is that the other ones are really good and they're really interesting and they feel like they still serve the narrative. Whereas Bombadil just feels like it wrenches you out of the narrative and the whole fucking thing is stupid. Like he runs around singing.
I'm insulted. As a man who wrote his intro in the theme of Tom Bombadil, I am pissed. I am responding when you're done, sir.
All right. Okay. I mean, I'm done. You can go. All
right.
I just think it was stupid.
So,
I got a couple more things to say.
God damn it.
So there's another thing at work here with the Bombadil character, and that is Tolkien is trying to gradually move his audience, who is, former Hobbit readers.
Right.
Yeah, you're moving from the child
into like, we're doing a serious piece of literature and history here. That's why you start in the Shire, and that's why you spend a lot of time there. And if you just read the opening, few pages of the book, and then you skip halfway into the book, the tone is utterly different.
You're totally confused when Frodo is frozen cold.
There was a hobbit that lived in a hole, and he loved food and drink, and there's a merry party, and that's how the book starts, right?
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the book, it's like people are getting thrown left and right and stabbed, and there's fires, and shit's happening, right? Like,
and poor Bill the donkey is getting left in the middle of Moria.
Yeah. But I feel like the Shire was that transition. You know what I mean? Because you start off with it's my 111th birthday party, and then you get to is it secret? Is it safe? This is the One Ring. Blah blah blah. You get to all that stuff. It's getting more serious, and I feel like the movie showed that as well. Like the transition happens just fine when you go right out onto the road. Farmer Maggot's crops. The Black Rider, the transition is fine. It's not too jarring. I didn't need Tom Bombadil. Now, in the book, you have more space. You can add in things like that. But I just think it's silly. I don't have any use for the character. I roll my eyes every time I read
Sean.
it. I'm wrapping this up. I'll tag you in myself in just a second.
Right.
And then the worst part is just when you think you're free. Just when you think Tom Bombadil has let you go, the Barrow Wights happen.
Yeah.
And Tom Bombadil comes back singing some fucking douchey song, and he's like, aha, you silly critters, I had to save you again, here's the song. And it's like, dude, do we have to do that again? It's like, let us go, man. Let the... Bilbo said the road goes ever on, right? Let the road go ever on, man.
All right, so... At first, when I started listening and reading the book, I was like, there's so many goddamn traveling songs. Holy shit. How many traveling songs do I know now? Right? If I open the book, everything is goddamn, middle of the book songs. And so I'm thinking, why is Tom here? This is, it sounds fucking silly, right? And I think that one of the things that it helped me understand is how naive Frodo is. He's lived in the Shire. Nothing makes sense to him. He doesn't even know the fuck he's leaving the Shire. Okay, I've got this ring. It's bad. Right? It makes Bilbo disappear. That sucks. He doesn't even know why it sucks. He doesn't even know why it's bad to put the ring on. Right? He just knows, he doesn't even know that Bilbo doesn't want to give it up. He doesn't know what we know seeing Bilbo and Gandalf trying to get him to take the ring and throw it in the fire and all that stuff. I mean, he threw the ring in the fire with Frodo to prove that it was the One Ring. But Bombadil, for me, is there to prove Frodo's naivete in a lighthearted way. If you build the suspense so much so that the wraiths are there immediately, where are you going after that? Right? Like, the stakes are so high in 15,000 pages, but you're like 300 pages in, and immediately he's in that danger. Like, it felt like, for me, an okay transition, because we all know that heroes get lost in the woods,
right,
that darkness happens in the woods, and Bombadil was almost like that Brothers Grimm, like, I'm going to save you.
Yeah.
Like, you're so naive, ha ha, ha ha. Yeah. Like, we knew you weren't going to get hurt here. I also like the fact that he makes no sense in a way. Like, this is what you don't like about him, but I like about it. It's like, he's older than the elves know.
Yeah.
He's older than the oldest trees. He knows that forest before it began. That's kind of cool that, like, he's so old that
he's enigmatic.
He's enigmatic and like...
Right. I like that idea on paper.
It's the rhyme, isn't it?
I think that, like...
It's the heptabic pentameter.
Yeah, and it delays...
It is. I looked
to
it
me,
up.
Damn.
It feels like... Okay.
I had to look it up. I had to look it up.
You just knew that shit.
No,
Kudos
I looked it up.
Yeah,
Thank you. No. I'll erase that. It was a Google.
I feel that, I like your point about, like, it reveals Frodo's naivete. I just also feel like all the other characters reveal Frodo's naivete.
That's
just
fair.
Fine.
Yeah.
And I feel like, the movie is, if you feel like you can't make that hard transition, the movie makes that hard transition, and it's better for it, different mediums.
So I don't remember.
Mediums.
Is that to say that the movie cuts out Tom altogether?
The first time I read the book, I was like, what the fuck am I reading? It was nowhere in the movie.
They get right to the prancing pony, essentially, as soon as they get past Farmer Cotton. All right, so I'm going to put a fork in this one and call it done.
We can move on to Flight to Rivendell.
You can go on to the internet.
Or you want to go Fellowship.
There is so much argument about this character. People love him.
I got one
Nerds fight forever.
I'll leave it with this. That was a toy that his kids owned.
I did see that.
And he used it, like, make up rhymes and songs.
Mm-hmm. That is cool on a personal level.
Right. There's a personal sweetness to it. Does it totally fit the narrative? I'll be honest and then say, no, it really doesn't. But I feel like it doesn't hurt the narrative as much as I think some people might think it might.
As one of us. Weird. No. I'm probably in the minority, actually.
There's a lot of Bombadil love, and there's a lot of Bombadil hate out there.
There's theories that he is God incarnate, or that he's a part of the discord of the music that made the world. I mean,
the discord of the music that made the world from the Silmarillion.
Tolkien himself, putting himself in the book.
And I actually had a hot second where I was like, is this where Star Wars got what's his name that everybody hate? Misa J.R.R. Binks. There we go, J.R.R. Binks. Like, this random sage asshole who speaks in gibberish but does something for the plot that was, like, important for the characters, but we fucking hate him because he seems so dissonant with the rest of the book. There was a lot of times... Thank you. Darth Bombadil is where we're going now. Hashtag Darth Bombadil. We did this. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. I actually, as I was reading this, I was like, oh, I see where the Whomping Willow came from.
Yeah.
I see where J.R.R. Binks came from. Yeah. I see where these other things... Like, I knew that this was the fodder for most things we read and see nowadays, but again, just visiting it, seeing it, reading it for the first time in a long time, or for the first time after watching it, like, I was reminded how much this is the seed of... I mean, I think he succeeded. Western literature is pretty much the Fellowship of the Ring, Lord of the Ring, Return of the King.
Everything is either writing in the tradition of Lord of the Rings or writing against the tradition of Lord of the Rings, which to me is the greatest compliment to Lord of the Rings. It's like all the late 70s new wave punk bands who are like, we're not fucking Pink Floyd, man. It's the best compliment you can pay to Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's true.
People, your legacy is so gigantic that people feel like they need to get out from under it.
Mm-hmm.
I will pivot from there and just, leave it at, it is part of the narrative. It's there. And it's something that Tolkien thought should be there. It is.
He sold more books than I've sold.
That's same.
Yeah.
Not me.
Well, Mr. King.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's another cast.
Spoiler alert.
The thing that's really cool to me about, like, as we're moving forward, I think getting close to the end of our discussion is there are more books after this that we're going to come back to because the anniversaries of those films are coming up. Mm-hmm. But the Lord of the Rings itself, I think that Tolkien focuses the whole thing on a magic ring is really a stroke of genius. It's this totem, like this object, this thing that represents the evil. And being a potable, like, you know, like temptation, this thing that Frodo has the burden of carrying that no one that's got power and wisdom can touch because they know that they'll be tempted by it. And if they refuse it, that proves some kind of test. Like, there's so much, like, I guess, mythology built up into this, such an unassuming little thing. And I'm going to do it now because I think this is the best time. I'm going to read that part that Gandalf does in the film, Ian McKellen, by the way. Yeah. Which
Sir Ian.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
As much as you can hate on, and I do skip a lot of the songs and whatever that Tolkien puts in because it's for his kids, really.
Yeah.
This is fucking genius. Do you want the whole thing or do you want just the part that Gandalf gives?
I trust your judgment.
I trust your judgment.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of legend in, like, the other rings he describes, but the part that really he nails is the one ring to rule them all. One ring to find them. One ring to bring them all, and in the darkness, find them.
God damn, thank you for hitting the bell.
So fucking good.
Right? Simple, clear, descriptive.
That right there, I still get chills reading that because that's what sold this whole adventure to me is like, fuck. This dark lord who's like Satan on earth puts everything into this little piece of gold. And it's like this thing could end the world. It's like nuclear annihilation, essentially.
Tempted Saruman the White and turned him, right?
So it turned Isildur, Saruman, Gollum,
Frodo, eventually.
Almost Bilbo, almost Frodo. Like, of course, that's a whole other can of worms about the strength of small people. But like figuratively and literally. Yeah. But just the like just how powerful of a symbol that thing is. Yeah. It's so beautifully done.
It's actually from or the inspiration for it was it Wagner? It's like an opera, like the Ring Cycle or something like that.
It's not a complete
thing
that he came up with, but it's, I think, mastered by Tolkien.
Oh my god, no question.
I mean, easily.
You know, and another one of my favorite lines is when Boromir picks it up when they drop it in the mountains, and Boromir picks it up, and he's like, "It's a strange fate that we should suffer so much fear and doubt for something so small."
Yeah,
right, and. You know, that's not just true, like, in the book. That's, like, you know, that's life. Is like these little things that hold such a spell over everything about our lives and our choices and our destinies. And
it's not ornate. It's not elaborate. It's super simple, but it controls everything.
Yeah.
Like, if the Dark Lord gets it, he rules the world, essentially.
And it works. You know, you can apply it as a metaphor for almost anything. Like, you said... did you say nuclear before, right? Yeah. Like, so, I mean, it could be like the thing that literally destroys the world, you know, but you could apply it to, you know, when Gandalf describes, Smeagol, but
Gollum.
Yeah.
You know, he both loves and hates the ring, right? And that always makes me think of things like addiction, right? Like the things that destroy people's lives, and they hate it because they know it's destroying their lives, but they also love it and they can't bear to not have it in their lives, right? So the metaphor just works on so many different levels, from an individual all the way up to like a social and global standpoint.
I guess we're going to continue this conversation when the next film gets re-released, right? I mean,
I would hope so.
Okay, so I think we probably should pin it and move on, just because I could go on for days.
Yeah.
Same.
We've literally not talked about the plot whatsoever.
No,
and that is fine.
I feel like we were remiss.
I mean, Mike had an outline of like, hey, let's make sure we like, you know, we can break it up into 5 sections here.
We haven't talked about like who are the real heroes.
Yeah.
You know.
Sam, done.
Yeah. Yes. No. Yes. Agreed.
Hey, Boromir 2 in the end.
Sure.
Oh my God!
I love me some Legolas.
It's not as emotional in the book, but that scene in the movie when Boromir dies heroically and Aragorn, and he's like, you fought well. You kept your honor.
Let's be real. If somebody's listening to this, they've probably either seen the movie or read the book, or hopefully both.
It's almost impossible.
Read the book, watch the movies.
Do both.
It's excellent. I mean, the plot, like we said, we basically did cover it. It is a hero's journey, but it, like Mike said, it ends so abruptly at the first one, and it's supposed to be a series of 9 books in one massive thing, but then they get broken into 3 books per each part of the trilogy. It's weird, but it's not the end of the story yet. So the heroes have just started their journey. The Fellowship has only just gotten out of the first of the perils, and the stakes keep going up, and it keeps getting crazier once the Fellowship breaks at the end. When no spoilers here, but they all 9 of them are together, and then they break apart at the end of this book, which is again another, I think, narrative masterstroke. Just the idea that the whole book is predicated on their fellowship. They're working together against great odds.
They were chosen by
Elrond.
Thank you.
The companions.
And the whole council, but Elrond puts them together as some of his house.
Essentially, the baddest ass motherfucker in all of Middle Earth says, you motherfuckers are going to bring this ultimate piece of
doom
to doom.
Yeah.
And
you need people like this on this sort of quest. Thing. Where are we going?
But they don't get there, and that's the best part of it. They don't make it at the end. It's oh shit, it's not over. They're not even halfway there yet.
Right.
And I think that's probably the best place for us to kind of push it is the next one is going to get way more personal about a lot of the characters, and there's a lot more a lot more stakes, for lack of a better way to put it.
Yeah. I want to throw in a quick prop for the music in the films, which is, I think, I don't know that I would have been as fully invested in them. I would have been, because it's a great plot, and characters, and it's a great classic story. But, the music it's just a whole other thing. I mean, the music is, I think, perhaps the best soundtrack to any film ever in history. And at the the part you're talking about, the breaking of the Fellowship, when Frodo's trying to leave by himself, and go back, Sam, you can't swim, and Sam's like, I'm coming with you, and he goes into the water, and they start playing the sad Shire music. Then the hand comes down and grabs Sam, and the happier, more triumphant Shire music starts. I've seen that movie 9,000 times. I still get goosebumps. I still am so emotionally affected, and the music is a huge part of that.
In the back of my mind, this whole cast, I've been hearing that. It's just playing on repeat in my mind right now.
I used to sing that to my kids, when I was rocking them when they were babies. I would hum the Shire theme song. It's beautiful music, man. That old Celtic music, and then not without going too deep, because we're trying to wrap it up here, but they have a different musical texture for all the different places along the journey. The elves' music is some of the most haunting and sad
ethereal
music. Yeah, all right. I mean, I won't go down this rabbit hole.
That's okay.
It'll be another half hour. So.
I had to look it up because I assumed it was John Williams, because John Williams No, it's Howard Shore.
Yeah, Howard Shore, yeah.
Yeah, a name I'm not familiar with, but goddamn if he doesn't make...
Yeah.
This one's for you, Howie.
Makes it what it is.
It's either in the second or third movie, I forget when, but it's when Liv Tyler confronts Elrond about you knew there was a child and blah blah blah, and he starts telling her the stakes if she stays, and he's like, the world, Aragorn will die whether by the sword or old age, and the trees will turn to ash, and he's describing all this, and the music that plays in the background is the saddest music I've ever heard. It is literally makes me choked up. It is heartbreaking, and there's all these moments like that through the entire trilogy. The music is something that makes this already powerful story even more so.
Well, he did win an Academy Award and a Grammy.
They swept the awards, I think, for the last movie.
Yeah, Return of the King was
probably
a lot of awards. Yeah,
we got more to talk about next season, guys.
That's right. Is next season let's see, what's after the Fellowship? It's
Towers.
Two Towers, right? And then we've got another year before we have to get to Return of the King.
Yeah.
So, all
I guess we're
right.
stuck doing this for a little while longer.
Oh, shucks.
Oh, darn.
Oh, I'm going to trudge through it, but I'll do it, guys. I'll do it.
We'll grin and bear it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here, dear listener. Like we said, we presume you kind of knew what you were in for. You just wanted to hear our erudition about these things. That's right. 2 beverages in, and I can still use that word, but barely. The Fin Du Monde is really starting to kick in. So I'm going to just throw it out there that the next cast is kind of what we do traditionally near the end of our season, which is like a retrospective or a where are the nerds at sort of thing, because we take the summers off for a little bit to give ourselves some time to rest and recoup, and we actually, maybe not ironically, read larger books over the summer, considering we just finished the Fellowship of the Ring.
While we try to dodge paparazzi and such.
Right. Well,
Yeah, I'm exhausted. Every time I try to go to an F1 race in Milan where I rent out the entire Cortina strip, it's fucking insane.
guys, I found this cheap island in the Caribbean. We can rent it now. It's
Suddenly available?
It's suddenly available. It's got lots of amenities already there.
Okay. Only if I can use it as a tax shelter.
That might be doable.
Okay. I might be.
We'll talk.
I'm sure worse has been done there.
We'll get the mega yacht down there.
It's got to be under 3B though, because I don't spend over 3. So.
I don't know, icky.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
This is all sarcasm, listeners. But no, we're going to talk about interesting trends in nerddom. Yeah. We've got one overarching task or one overarching idea from actually Martin Scorsese we're talking about. And then we're all bringing in a idea that we've been kind of digging, or like something in the zeitgeist that we've been living outside of the cast. We do have lives outside of the cast, which is weird to think about. I know.
You do?
I mean,
yes.
One of us, at least one of us, has another cast.
When you asked me to sign up for this, I thought this was what we do now.
Wait, you didn't read the contract?
I obviously did read the contract multiple times. This is my life.
No,
was there a clause in there for having a life?
Yeah, there was also a clause for like non-exclusivity.
Oh, damn.
Some of us are polypodcasterists.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Hey, Zaville's
That's true.
Nation.
Hey, there you go, Zaville's throwing it out to you.
And Za Sabers.
Oh, did they have a Za Sabers cast?
It's kind of an inside joke. We do like in a multi-text, but let's just say go Sabers.
Fuck yeah.
Go
Fuck yeah.
Sabres.
Let's go. Playoffs for the first time in my children's lives.
Yeah, like, right?
Yep.
All right.
Until next time, cheers, nerds.
Cheers.
So long.
Da, ba, ba, doo, doo. I can't even do this.